Alrighty folks, a warm welcome back to the channel. James Cards FC here. It's been a while, but I guess every now and then, and that now being today, a topic comes up in the soccer card market that is so important or so noteworthy that I just have to cover it. And today, that topic is going to be the Messi 2004 71 Biz rookie card that has hit a new record high price in the PSA 10 grade in a private sale, and some of the prices of the lower grades are starting to creep up to near their record highs as well. So with that going on, I wanted to cover it. We're also going to talk about some other things that have been happening in the market since I made my last video maybe a year ago. So appreciate you guys for clicking on this one and sticking with me. And without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into it. So how did we get here? And this is my theory as to how we got to the price of the Messi 71 Biz setting a new record high. I'm not going to say what it is or what the prices have been. First, I want to specifically talk about how we got here, and at least my opinion of how we got here. So we actually have to start this story by talking about Lamine Yamal's 108 Biz rookie card, which is basically his version of the Messi Mega Cracks rookie. Now, Yamal, of course, seeing that he's a new player, and in modern times we have so many more products, he has thousands of different rookie cards. This just happens to be one of them. Messi has 7 or 8 different rookie cards. Meanwhile, Yamal has thousands of rookie cards and a bunch of numbered variations and stuff. Messi just has 7 base cards. None of them are numbered, and they're all just base stuff, and one of them is a sticker. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that we all know that, but we'll go ahead and move on from there, saying that Messi has very few rookies, Yamal has a lot. This is basically Yamal's version of that Messi Mega Cracks rookie card that is so popular. So this card shot from $300 in PSA 10 in January to $8,000 in June. Now, this has come from a variety of different things. One of them is the fact that Yamal has been playing extremely well since January, and pretty much every broadcast you turn on calls him the best player in the world or one of the best players in the world, the best young player since Messi. It's everywhere. So that narrative's completely out there. And he is crowned as the next GOAT of soccer, and they talk about it in every broadcast. It's super mainstream. Yamal has all the hype in the world right now, but this $300 to $8,000 increase, as you can see on the graph down there from Card Ladder, is a little sketchy looking. So it's heavily rumored to be shilled to this price, but this hasn't stopped the mainstream card pages on Instagram or maybe even on YouTube. I haven't looked too much, but a lot of people that are in the hobby are posting about these sales for the Yamal Mega Cracks. So keep in mind, this card is also up much more than any other Lamine Yamal rookie card. His numbered stuff isn't up this much. His non-numbered stuff isn't up this much. Case hits aren't up this much on a percentage basis from 300 to 8,000. It's a ridiculous increase. It's probably not real. There's rumors going around that there's some people that have hoarded a lot of these in PSA 10 condition, and they've been pumping up the price, and these sales aren't real. It'll take a long time for that to sort out. Eventually, if they are being shilled, they'll get bored of shilling, or it'll be no longer cost prohibitive for them to keep buying their own cards at such high prices. So in any event, it is very, very, very likely that this card is going to come down in price, but we're not really going to be talking about Lamine Yamal that much in this video. He's been talked about to death, especially this card in the hobby. So moving on from that, Sports Card Investor, who is the biggest channel in the space for sports cards, has mentioned Yamal in multiple videos, and he has the biggest mainstream audience. So when he talks about something, it gets out into the mainstream of the sports card market very fast. And in these videos, he's talked about Yamal being possibly the best investment in the entire soccer card market. Not just the soccer market, maybe the best investment in the entire sports card market because of how young he is, how prolific he is, how soccer has such a long runway, people think, in terms of being able to grow over time, because it's the world's most popular sport, but it's not the most collected sport at all in the hobby. It's like 4th or 5th most popular. So all those things being said, the Sports Card Investor is now talking about this as one of the best investment players that you can go into on the market. So that just keeps helping this build up and hype for this Lamine Yamal Mega Cracks card in particular. So whether the sales of the 108 Bis, which is this Yamal card right here, are real or not, doesn't really matter at this point. What matters more is that now a lot of real focus is on the soccer card market, and specifically Mega Cracks in particular. Specifically this Lamine Yamal Mega Cracks card, which is what's going to bring us back to talking finally about the Messi. So let's talk about how this went from Yamal to now Lionel Messi. So Yamal's 108 biz and Messi's 71 biz actually mirror each other quite nicely. You can see them posted right there on the slides here. They actually look very similar in appearance. They're kind of making the same pose. It's really cool. I don't know if the Mega Cracks manufacturer intended them to look so similar, but they definitely do, and I think that's really cool. So people have been connecting the dots on this Yamal card to the Messi Grail that has been around in the market forever, and they're saying things like if Yamal has 2,000 plus rookie cards, or however many rookie cards he has, and it's so expensive, this 108 biz is, and Messi has less than 10 rookie cards, why is 108 biz getting so expensive, but 71 biz is so much cheaper? So, like I said before, if this Yamal card in PSA 10 with a pop of 200 in PSA 10 is selling for $8,000, why is a Messi 71 biz in PSA 8, where if you add the 8s, the 9s, and the 10s all together, maybe doesn't get to 200 or somewhere around 200? Why is a PSA 8 Messi near the same price as a PSA 10 Yamal, given all the factors that we know about these two cards? So, at the same time these questions are being asked, there's been a lot more chatter recently about how low the population of 71 biz is in comparison to the other GOAT level rookie cards across different sports. So, for example, the Michael Jordan rookie card has over 40,000 pop. LeBron's rookie cards have tens of thousands in the population. I don't even know who the baseball GOAT is right now. It's probably Shohei Ohtani, but he has so many different rookie cards, and putting all their pops together is probably in hundreds of thousands. So, yeah, it's a unique case in terms of Messi not having a lot of rookie cards, especially this 71 biz rookie card being graded. Now, that is specifically because of the fact that this card was produced in Spain just for a Spanish audience, whereas most other players, they were produced in the United States for a United States audience, and that's just a lot more people than the people that are in Spain. So, with all that being said, Messi and Ronaldo key cards have also been on a nice run in the past year or so, but FOMO is kicking in right now, specifically on the 71 biz. So if you look at, I think it was United States men's national team soccer cards, Alec put out a video talking about how the soccer card market's been doing so well over the past year, especially when you look at key players' cards. We're not talking about prospects, we're just talking about the guys like Messi, Ronaldo, and all the other GOAT level players. Their cards have been trending really well over the past year in terms of their key cards, their most obvious cards. They're up anywhere from like 20 to 50% across the board. So soccer in the GOAT level has been trending very nicely for a year, but with the factors that we've been talking about, Messi has really seen a boom in this Mega Cracks over the past couple months or so. So all these factors are coming together. You have massive attention, a low population, and FOMO, which is leading to the price explosion on the Messi 71 biz as a result of the Yamal 108 biz. So, with all that finally out of the way, now let's talk about the numbers in terms of price that this Messi has been seeing. So, I titled this slide Record and Near Record Highs. So, at the top grade of PSA 10, a 71 biz just sold privately at an undisclosed record price, and this is being recorded in June of 2025. This record price is not this record price is not public, but it is rumored to be significantly more than the last public sale of $322,000 in January of 2024, and the previous high sale was $344,000. I think that was in either 2021 or 2022. There are only 19 of these in PSA 10, and they very rarely, if ever, show up on the public market. So one was bought privately. I don't know personally what the price was that was paid. I know of a bounty that was going around for a very high price. Again, I don't know exactly what the price was. I just know that it sold, in air quotes, significantly higher than the previous all-time sale that this card was at. So we don't know what that number is. I don't want to speculate on what it is because it's somebody's private purchase. But yes, it was bought privately for a record high number. At the same time, the PSA 9 has been on a run lately. It's gone on a huge run. That's this graph right here in the bottom left of the screen. You can see it's already pushing its record high here. It went on a massive run towards the end of 2024. It's run north of 50K, and there's currently a PSA 9 in June 2025's Fanatics Premier Auction that is going to end here in, I think, 2 weeks. So keep an eye on that one. Given all the activity on this card, I would not be surprised if it set the new record high for a PSA 9. We'll also talk about PSA 8 here. That is the one that is just sold at time of recording the past Fanatics auction for $15,000. And Fanatics auctions, I've been gone for a while, but Fanatics auctions is what PWCC auctions used to be. Fanatics bought PWCC, and so now it's called Fanatics auctions, but I'll probably refer to it as PWCC as well as Fanatics auctions. In any event, that's what I'm talking about when I say Fanatics auctions. Now, this $15,000 sale would be the 5th highest sale ever in that grade, and it's only $4,000 off of its record high price, and this is one heck of a jump. It went from below 10K to 15K right here in this range, and it's starting to push its record high as well. Assuming this is a real sale, we don't have a confirmation on that yet. We'll see what happens. I imagine this sale will bring out some sellers that bought in this range, and we're going to test if that's real here pretty soon. So, also on the lower end or the mid end, a PSA 5 has doubled in price in the past year, but that one's still well off the pandemic high. These are selling now, starting to try and push the $4,000 range, but the record high is $8,000, and I don't see a situation in which one of these mid-grade cards shoots way up like that to the record price, but maybe we see it happen. As you can see, it's sort of the boom is sort of trickling its way through the grades. It started with the 9 or the 10, and now it's trickling down to the 8, and maybe eventually it trickles down to the 5, but that could take a while, and there's a lot of factors going on right now. So, let's talk about my 2 cents or 2 opinions on this latest price jump on the 71 Biz card. First off, I have no 71 Biz right now at time of recording. That could change, but as of right now, when I'm making this video, I don't have a horse in this race when it comes to my own personal involvement with the card. So I'll be giving you my best read on it as somebody that does not have a 71 Biz in their possession right now. So one of my opinions would be opinion A, which we'll talk about on this slide, and that's to the moon. So 71 Biz is finally hitting the mainstream. The pop is too low to accommodate a more mainstream collecting audience. This has been talked about ad nauseum by anybody that has looked at soccer card populations over the past 6 years. The pop on this is just way too low for the amount of people that are in the sports card market, and if there is ever a mainstream audience that comes in to either buy soccer cards or other sports start going into soccer cards, this pop is just way too low. As I say here, the population is sitting right now around 800, while Michael Jordan's key rookie, the 1986 Fleer, I believe that one's in the 40,000s range. So we're talking about something that's just insanely low pop in comparison to some of the other grails. And not only is it much lower pop, it's so much cheaper. So if there's a sustained increase in demand for all grades of 71 Biz, we may never see it this cheap again, and that's even given the latest run-up that has been going on over the past 12 months, where it's increased like 40-50% in every grade. We might never see it this cheap again if the mainstream audience or more soccer collectors or more people are throwing money at this thing because they finally realized how low pop and how key it actually is. But even in this case, I don't think you need to FOMO right now. Prices usually trickle down more slowly into the lower grades, which is what we've been seeing on the 71 Biz. It stayed really high in PSA 10 through the correction of all prices. PSA 9 a few months ago took its big run up. PSA 8 now seems to be taking its big run up. So for that to cascade all the way down to the low grades, that could take a really long time, and it takes a lot of money in order for the eventual trickle down of that to happen. So what I'm saying with that is if you want a nice looking PSA 3 or 4 just for your collection and you don't have a 71 Biz yet and you're worried that you might be missing the boat, I think you probably still have quite a bit of time to buy those around their current prices. I put the population report up here just so you can look at it to see the spread of grades across the Messi 71 Biz. So the 9 and the 10 really are just so low pop compared to the rest of the grades that are on this board. And the 8 then has 124. That's the one that's seeing some price pressure right now. But there's a lot of those out there, and it eventually would have to trickle down from the 8 to the 7 to the 6 to the 5. And you can see those numbers. They're small in terms of like the overall sports card market, but for the soccer market and for where the soccer market has been recently, these are big numbers, and that's a lot of cards that are going to have to sail through and set record high price after record high price after record high price for it eventually to go down into the 3s and the 4s, at least in my opinion. So even with the latest run-up, I think that a nice-looking low-grade copy, this being in PSA 3 or PSA 4 condition, where yeah, it's not going to look perfect. You might have rounded corners, but you're not going to have a massive crease in it. You're not going to have a corner completely bent off. You can get a nice looking PSA 3 or a nice looking PSA 4 that presents nice in a slab. And from somebody looking 25 feet away, I mean, heck, it could look like a PSA 7 at that point. So if you're just looking for something like that for your collection, I think you're probably going to be fine in that $1,500 to $2,000 range. I've been wrong before, but at least in my opinion, it takes a lot of new buyers on the market to move the price of those ones specifically. In fact, if you really wanted to grind, you can probably look in Spain on Spanish websites and find a low grade copy for $1,500 without too much difficulty. And then we'll move into opinion B, which is my second idea of what this could be. So, and my second opinion would be that it's too high and too fast. So, this is a momentary hot streak where the eye of the market has completely turned on one specific card. We've seen this happen before in a variety of sports to a variety of players. Erling Haaland, when he moved to Man City and started banging in goals like a hat trick every week or something ridiculous like that, the eye of the soccer card and sports card market shifted directly on Erling Haaland. And then after that, we have never recovered, and it's never seen those highs again. Messi's a little bit different. Legendary cards can be a little bit different because this is not a performance-based boost. This is more a hobby is all looking at one card at one specific time given boost. So I don't really know where this is going to go, but in my opinion, this feels like it's too high, too fast situation where everybody just happens to be looking at this one card, and so the prices are starting to really spike because everybody's focused on this one specific card. So, there have been rumors that some wealthy basketball collectors have been stockpiling high-grade 71 Biz cards over the past year. So while the PSA 9s and PSA 10s of this card could be unattainable from now until the forever end in the future, the lower to mid-grades won't see the volatile increases. I think that's my overall opinion if I go either in the super optimistic A1 or this less optimistic B1. I think the lower to mid grades are probably going to be more stable where they're at. They won't see these massive spikes, but the high grades, they're kind of getting away from people. I'm personally very interested to see how many 71 Biz these sales bring to market. Anyone who has bought a 71 Biz in pretty much any grade between 2022 and 2024, especially at these higher grades, have a potential 2 to 3x exit point. And it's one of my classic sayings, and I've said it in a bunch of videos before, but if everybody is wanting to buy something, it's usually probably the time to sell. This isn't always the case, but in 99% of cases, if everybody in the market has focused on one specific card, it's probably time to start selling that card. Now, normally when I talk about this, I'm talking about it in relation to prospects like Erling Haaland or Fuller and Balogun a few years ago. So this might not apply to Messi, but it pretty much has always been true that if everybody wants something, it's probably the time to be selling it. So at least when I looked through the sales data on Card Ladder, there were 25 PSA 8 sales in the past 2 years at 50% or more off of the recent $15,000 sale. So if only 10 of those people try to cash in over these next few weeks or months, is there $150,000 worth of new money in the market right now wanting to be spent on PSA 8 71 Biz? That's the question that is going to be tested here, assuming some of those people do try to cash out at these new record high price points or near record high price points. And then on the bottom right, I showed that this is not being seen across all Messi cards, or not even across all Messi rookie cards, and not even across all high-grade Messi rookie cards that are rare, because this is a recent sales history of the Messi Barcelona Campio Edition rookie. This is the hardest one to get in PSA 10. I think the pop is like 6. At least the last time I looked, maybe a year ago, it was 6. It could be creeping up into maybe 10 pop, but we're talking about a card that is really, really, really difficult to get in PSA 10, and it has completely cratered in price. So perhaps everybody has shifted all of their Messi rookie money into the 71 Biz, and now that is always going to be seen as by far the one you should have, and those other ones are going to continue to get cheaper. But I'm just doing this to show you that not all Messi rookie cards, not all Messi cards are seeing this explosive price increase that the 71 Biz is. So then we'll move on to the conclusion here. And my conclusion is basically to stay tuned. So many of these key soccer cards in the soccer card market have been steadily climbing over the past 12 months. Yamal, in my opinion at least, inspired a surge of new participants on the ultramodern side that are now interacting with his cards, and this is bound to have some sort of trickle-down effect into the older stuff in the soccer card market. To what extent and for how long, there's really no way to know, but Yamal has really spiked interest in the market, and that interest will trickle down into the older, more key cards than what Yamal has. So I personally think that the 71 Biz right now is experiencing a moment in the hobby where everybody's focused on it, and these moments can fade, or this could just be the start of a new normal for arguably the biggest card that there is in our market. 71 Biz is the biggest card. If you hear scratching on the floor, my dog has decided to completely climb under my desk as I try to get through the end of this video. But where was I? I personally think 71 Biz is experiencing a moment in the market right now. These moments can fade, or this could be the new normal for the biggest card in our market. We'll see what happens there. Personally, what I'm going to be watching over these next few weeks and months in regards to these sales is obviously the 71 Biz itself, but more specifically paying attention to how many of the high grades come to market, and then the price progression on the lower graded copies, especially in that entry 3 to 4 range where you're just looking for a nice collector's version of a copy, and then the 5, 6, and 7s, because at least right now, there's not a lot of price differentiation between a 5, 6, and a 7 if they all have good eye appeal. So we'll see if that changes. Then I would be looking at the Ronaldo Mega Cracks rookie because it mirrors the Messi as well. It's possible we see a trickle-down effect to Ronaldo, like with Yamal trickling down to Messi. And the Mega Cracks card for Ronaldo has also been trending nicely recently, but it does not have the massive spike that the Messis have had over these past few weeks. It's just been trending well with the market over the past year or so. I would also be checking in on the Pele Alifa Bullet. I've seen a lot of these coming to auction recently. I think there's 3 in this next Fanatics PWCC Premier auction, which is a lot for one auction. And then I think there might be a couple on Golden this month as well. So for a card with, I think it's like 400 pop or something like that, you definitely see a lot of them come to market. So perhaps it hasn't found its footing among collectors yet, and people are still just grading them and flipping them onto the market. But anyway, this is the biggest vintage key there is, at least in my opinion. I know he has 1957 rookies. I know he has more 1958 rookies, and some of them come from Brazil. But in terms of the overall mainstream soccer card market, this is seen as the big grail for Pele. So it's the mainstream one. I get it. There are ones that I like more than it, but I understand this is the mainstream one, and so I'll be talking about it like it is. So biggest vintage key, it hasn't seen a surge in price yet. In fact, I think prices have been decreasing depending on the grade. The PSA 1 might be pretty stable around the $7,000 to $12,000 range depending on the eye appeal. But as you go into the 3s, the 4s, and the 5s, they're all pretty close in price, and I don't think that they've been trending well recently. So keep an eye on that to see if it trickles down. And then, of course, I'm going to be watching other key Messi cards as well. Is this run-up in Messi 71 Biz specific, or are there more Messi buyers for all his cards? So I'd be keeping an eye on the Este sticker, the Mundi Chroma. The Mundi Chroma hasn't seen any increase at all. The Este sticker comes up so little that it's hard to get a good gauge of where the market is on that. I'd be looking at the colored 2014 Prism stuff, the colored 2017 Chrome stuff, maybe the first Kaboom with Barcelona, his 2006 sticker for Argentina at the World Cup, his 2006 card for Argentina at the World Cup. The most obvious of obvious Messi cards. Are they moving in a similar spiking fashion to the 71 Biz, or is all the focus just on the 71 Biz and that's the card that everybody wants right now, and maybe are the other ones an opportunity, or is this Messi 71 Biz just the one that everybody's always going to want, and the other ones are sort of afterthoughts, and when people just want one Messi card, they just want 71 Biz. So I'm thinking about all those things. I'm really excited to see what's going to shake out from this. I'll be keeping an eye on it. You should be keeping an eye on it as well. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on what's going on with the Messi 71 Biz right now in relation to its most recent price spikes, as well as the fact that it's been trending really well recently. I don't think at all it's because Messi is playing in the MLS. There's no buzz on that in the United States, at least unless you're already into soccer. There's no buzz of Messi bringing new people to the MLS. That narrative I'm not even going to be willing to entertain. But if you have any other narratives you want to put down in the comments about what is driving this big spike in Messi cards, feel free to leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will perhaps see you in the next video.